Putting on a mask and cape in real life, and you're bound to get a few looks. But in the world of comics, you'll be hailed as a saviour. That is, unless you're in Watchmen, as this caper's about costume crusaders who are so hated, they've been outlawed.
We're society's only protection.
From what?
You kidding me? From themselves.
It's a very much in-your-face look at what would happen if superheroes existed, and basically says they'd be flawed and screwed up, and you're looking at two of the more flawed and screwed up characters you'll ever see.
That's Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who plays the comedian, while the man next to him, Jackie Earle Haley, stars as Rorschach. And here's a quick run through the rest of the crime-fighting crew.
Sally Jupiter is my character, and she was an original member of the Minutemen.
And I play Dan Dryberg, who is also a.k.a. Night Owl 2.
And then there's Laurie, who was forced in Silk Spectre 2, forced into it by her mother, you know.
Lastly, Billy Crudup plays the blue one, Dr. Manhattan, while Matthew Good is Ozymandias. Notice the absence of huge Hollywood names, although not everyone thought that was such a good plan.
I would have preferred to have met some of the stars.
Yeah. You'd have preferred Tom Cruise.
Well, yeah, you know, I mean...
Anybody.
Anyone, really.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I know that I would have too.
The story's based on the 1987 work by writer Alan Moore and went on to become one of the most acclaimed graphic novels of all time. For many years it was thought to be unfilmable. That was until 300 director Zach Snyder got his hands on it.
It is a bit daunting, but on the other hand, you know, I'm pretty wildly enthusiastic for the material. So it's what you dream about when you're, you know, a kid reading comic books, that you'd be making a comic book like this into a movie. So it's a pretty interesting experience.
Set in an alternate 80s reality where Nixon is still president, it sees the out-of-shape vigilantes dusting off their latex to investigate the murder of one of their own.
An attack on one is an attack on all of us.
It differs in other respects from Spider-Man, Batman and the rest due to the level of gore and sex. Meaning, sorry kids, it's rated 18.
You know, that was the thing, is to not back off on what it actually is. So it's not done for the sake of, you know, being gratuitous or, you know, sort of for shock value. It's like sort of everything has the ramifications it needs to have that it has in the graphic novel. Otherwise it wouldn't have the resonance that it needs to have, you know.
All in all, it sticks as close as it can to the original comic, but in many ways that lets it down, as despite some standout action scenes and special effects, it feels too crammed full of ideas and does drag in some places. But I'm willing to bet that they're onto a winner either way, as die-hard fans have been waiting around 20 years for this feature, so will no doubt be running to their local multiplex to see if it does leave them with a smile.
Let's go!